Hey, welcome to Actioncorp TV. We're doing something a little differently this episode. All our segments have been pre-recorded and we've produced them using my powerful new Power Mac G5.
Coming up on this episode, we're going to take a look at where I play my games. This is the first in a series I think we're all going to try to do, giving a closer look as to where we play.
We're also going to take a look at Craig's House of the Future and how he makes it do all of its amazing things.
Also, we've got a trailer for my biggest awaited movie this year, Spiderman 2.
We got a chance to check out Jason's brand new Mame machine that he built himself from the ground up.
And we're also going to take a close look at Legacy of Cain Defiance for the Xbox.
All of this and more on today's Actioncorp TV.
Okay guys, welcome to Actioncorp. This is episode 20 and we thought we'd do a little something special. What we're going to try is a new series where we show off where we like to play our games on the console, on the PC, whatever. I'm the guinea pig for the program, so here we go. This is a look at my gaming area. I called it Seth's Mess.
Welcome to my mess. This is a little bit about me as a gamer. My life's a little different than most, mainly because of my bizarre job and its bizarre hours. I wake up around midnight and get ready for work. There's not much traffic on the way in, so I just cruise in listening to some tunes. I produce the Tri-State's finest morning show with the absolute best, most quality on-air talent there is. My job's pretty busy, so the time usually flies by and I'm out the door about 9 a.m. Once I get home, it's generally time for a nap, but every once in a while, got to play a couple games. I like to think of my office as my little escape hatch. At my desk, I've got my PC and my brand new iMac, which I'm editing this piece on right now. As far as gaming goes, my PC is where I play my first-person shooters and my online games. Right now, I'm heavily into rotating Max Payne 2 and Star Wars Galaxies. Galaxies is a perfect game to express your inner Star Wars geek. You can start a career, talk with different people. Max Payne is more of a game where you get to blow a lot of shit up. It's a fantastic looking game with a great, great story. So those are my PC games. Now we'll go to my console. Resting comfortably under this 27-inch Sansui are my Xbox, my GameCube, and my PS2. My Xbox is currently housing True Crime. True Crime's kind of a GTA clone, but its claim to fame is it's a street-by-street recreation of the city of Los Angeles. Animal Crossing is on my GameCube right now. Animal Crossing, how do you describe it? It's like The Sims meets Sesame Street meets a whole lot of crack. And I'm going a little retro with my PS2. We're playing Metal Gear Solid for the PSX, the original. I wanted to go through that so I could go through Metal Gear Solid 2 again and have a little bit of a better understanding of what exactly is going on. My game library is being protected right now by this little guy. Diablo is my leopard gecko. His place is on the top shelf of my collection, so he's making sure everything's safe. Everything since my PSX games are in there. Anything older than that's generally stored at my parents' house in their yard barn. My iMac that I had mentioned earlier is also the home of my iTunes library, so if a video game's soundtrack isn't too kicking, I can always spice it up a little bit. That's really about it, guys. That's my office, so until next time, game over.
For those of you who've been watching Actioncorp, you guys know I'm a big Spider-Man fan. And a couple weeks ago, they released the Spider-Man 2 teaser. I waited online until midnight, the morning they released it.
And you ended up getting this really ultra crappy
Horrible.
Flash version.
Horrible.
Done
It
in
was
Flash.
the Flash version. They've since released a QuickTime. You can go
Thank
on
God.
to. You can find it anywhere. Here it is, the Spider-Man 2 teaser.
This is funny. I'm not sure where to begin. Do you love me or not?
I don't.
You don't.
Kiss you.
I need to know something. Just one kiss.
Fasten your seatbelts.
Next thing we're going to look at is Legacy of Cain Defiance on the Xbox. This is Sean's latest expedition.
I've been actually impressed with this game so far. It is a game that runs in high definition, 480p if you have the high definition pack, and a TV that supports it. The graphics look great. They're very crisp. Some of the downfalls being that the animation is a little bit subpar for our high standards.
That's what we were talking about that's bugged me a lot. In a game, you're running and the footsteps are going, but sometimes they don't sync it right, so it looks like they're ice skating or something. The floor is not moving at the same speed as their feet, and apparently that's got a problem in this game, and that bugs the crap out of me.
Yes, there is some bad clipping in the game too.
Oh my god! Oh,
yeah, things where
this seems kind of lazy.
You might throw somebody towards a wall and they actually go into it. There is some reaction to the environment in this game. You can throw people against statuary, things like that, and actually knock it apart. There are some puzzle elements, but it's not as bad as it was in Soul Reaver, where you're dragging 18 crates around to stack them up. So I do like the new gameplay styles, the combos. There's combo systems now where you earn combos as you fight, and then they're stored in a moves list that you can access.
Sanguine censure. Infernal sundering.
You do have most of your powers from the get-go now, so your telekinesis, things like that, the long jump, you can do that stuff right off the bat when it's required.
Stuff from the old games.
You do jump back and forth in this when you play some chapters as Cain and some chapters as Raziel, and it pulls the two stories together over the course of the game until the final climactic, fight at the end or whatever they're going to do with it. I haven't made it that far, so I don't know, but
I like Raziel.
Yeah, I tend to like Raziel a little bit more myself anyway. You can also charge up your weapon now, whether it be the Soul Reaver or the actual Material World Reaver that Cain uses.
Is that just called the Reaver?
Yes. His is just the Reaver, and then
so that ghost one is called Soul Reaver.
Right. So you can actually charge that the same way that you would normally, drink blood once you killed somebody with Cain. Instead of doing that, you can stick the Reaver into them, and the Reaver absorbs their blood, which powers it up.
As Cain?
As Cain.
Yeah.
So, and then the flip side would be as Raziel. Instead of pulling your shroud down and sucking the soul in, you stick the Soul Reaver into him. It absorbs the soul, and it powers you up to be able to do some massive moves.
Is that story related, or does that just have to do with the weapon itself?
It just has to do with they never explain why you can do that.
So you don't do the.
Oh, you do, yes.
But you've got to power up the Reaver for moves.
Yes.
So this is like energy.
Uh-huh.
And the Reavers for moves.
Exactly. And you have to keep close track of it, because the worst thing about this game is if you forget that you have to feed. You are a vampire in either respect, whether you're Raziel or Cain. So you have to keep your health meter up. It's always ticking away. I recommend it to anybody that is either into vampires or has just been following the Legacy of Cain or the Soul Reaver sagas.
As you saw in that segment with Seth earlier and his cool home setup, you noticed that he has a brand new flat panel iMac. And now that we both have Macs, we gave iChat AV, which is Apple's instant messaging software, which is also now doing video and audio chatting. We gave that thing a try this week. What did you think?
Very cool. I loved it. We set it up with 2 FireWire cameras. It was pretty smooth. It was pretty smooth. It wasn't great. It wasn't what I was expecting. I actually thought it was going to be a lot better. But
yeah, the quality of the video image was blurrier than what I was expecting, and I think we were really kind of running at the lowest level because I think there were settings in the software that allow you to set a limit on your bandwidth, and it like went up to like 2 megabit. So I'm assuming that the video quality is going to look a lot better if you're on a local LAN. But when we were using our cable modems, it didn't look any better than NetMeeting ever looked. But what I really liked about it was that it was so ridiculously simple. Literally, the moment I plugged my FireWire camera in, the icon changed to show the FireWire camera on the screen.
Right.
And I saw yours change from a microphone to a FireWire camera, and then I clicked the button.
There's an indicator right by, in your buddy list, there's an indicator that says whether you've got a microphone, whether you've got a camera, and you click the camera, and all of a sudden a voice chat starts.
That's right. And what's really cool, it does this little animation. It goes ding, and then like your image that you see of yourself shrinks down real small into the corner, and you can move that thing around wherever you wanted it and resize it and stuff. And the interface was really cool, and you can make it full screen. And granted, a little blurry, but great to have, conferencing where you're able to stand away from your computer and just see someone full screen, and everybody who's around you, like family and stuff, can see you. I was really impressed. I liked it. I mean, I wish the quality was a little better. What we've also discovered, too, is that the audio chatting is actually something we've used more.
We've used that a lot more than we use the video chat. We used the audio today for about, 30, 40 minutes?
Yeah, I mean, you just
sat there and talked.
What's great about that, too, is that you can sit there and play video games while you're doing an audio chat with someone. It's like being on the phone with a speakerphone, but you get to, your hands free, basically.
Hands free, and you're not tying up a phone line.
Yeah, and you get to play video games, which is
very important. Very, very important.
So I definitely give iChat AV a thumbs up.
I like it. Try it. Love it.
Give it a try.
About a couple of years ago, I think you were mentioned on the local TV station for something called House of the Future.
Yeah, I was top story for some reason.
Today's top story.
The World Wide Web has taken one Evansville home to the space age.
Basically, they did a live remote at my house, and we had a reporter in Henderson, basically, where the TV station's at, and they did a split screen, and they controlled my house, and you can see in one window where she would be actually using a web interface to turn on and off lights.
Yeah.
And then on the other window, you'd see a remote live from my house where they were turning lights on.
That's pretty cool. And now, what we're going to talk about here is how you accomplish this and what kind of capabilities your House of the Future has. So first of all, what technology are you using?
Basically, it is the X10 type of controllers and outlets and switches that, through the power line, receive signals from some type of controller. The type of controller I use and a lot of the geeks use is basically a computer. You hook a little module up to your computer and you can run some software on your PC to be able to run scripts, execute commands at certain times, and basically just be the brains of the house.
What is the software called that you use?
The one I use is called Homeseer. I really like it because basically it allows me to execute events very easily, but I can also script on it, and it has a really good web interface. It's basically an ASP web server.
And what kind of devices do you have, like, in your house are connected to your wall sockets and so forth?
Mainly it is light switches, like built into the wall. There are some modules that I have that you can plug other devices into, like let's say an aquarium light or something like that. I have motion sensors all over the house that wirelessly send back to the PC when they detect movement or when they detect light. There's also a number of different other types of devices you can do, like for low voltage switching.
What's that?
Like I can hook up a little low voltage switch to my garage door, and Homeseer would know when the garage door is open. They even make an X10 thermostat that I'd like to get one day that would actually be able to report the temperature of the house back to the Homeseer computer, and then Homeseer can say, well, the house is seeing movement, that means somebody's here, make sure the temperature's adjusted right. And that's just some of the capability of the scripting that gives me the ability to be able to customize the house the way I want to. One of the things I have it do is like 8 o'clock, it starts dimming lights and say it's time for kids to go to bed.
That's great. And so it's not just the ability to control devices here and there, but the script is really the key, because then you can say, like, it's time for movies, and then lights dim down a certain place, your stereo turns on,
comes up.
Yeah, I have one of the X10 devices I have is an infrared receiver for X10, and basically I've got a remote control that I can program any way I want. Yeah. It has a little touch screen on it, and I have commands set up on the touch screen that send just a basic X10 command to the receiver. The computer sees that one X10 command and runs a script that says, okay, he wanted to do movie time, let's say. Yeah. And movie time is dim all the lights in the house, turn this light on, turn this light down to 50%, and basically you have kind of movie time lighting, but you didn't have to get up and flip and adjust 5 different switches.
Where can people go to get this, and how much are they looking to spend?
Well, if you buy the basic starter kit, which is actually probably the way you should start, it comes with the computer interface connection, some X10 modules like a lamp module, SWIP module, and it comes with a basic program to allow you to do very basic timer kind of things and stuff like that. Uh-huh. That would be a really good start. And you can buy that for $50 on eBay or X10.com, and that's get you started in home automation. That's where I started with that. And the HomeSeer product from HomeSeer.com, you can get that. It runs around, I think, $100 to $150, depending on if they got it on sale that week or whatever, what their bundle is. And then you'll want to expand your system with extra modules, and you'll buy those off of eBay. You can buy those from X10.com. There's a place called SmartHome.com that's really good. And you'll shop around for what you want. I probably bought half my stuff from X10, half of it from eBay.
Cool. Okay, here's a little something that I found online at one of my favorite websites called ThinkGeek.com. It's called the Forever Flashlight. It's designed to be the flashlight that you keep forever and that never goes bad. It doesn't use batteries and it doesn't use a bulb. What it has inside of it is a super strong earth magnet, and as you move the flashlight back and forth like this, the magnet passes through a set of coils that are connected to a capacitor, and that capacitor stays charged and basically runs to a super bright LED. One other great thing about this flashlight too is that it's waterproof and it floats, so you can carry this out on a boat with you somewhere. If you drop it out into the river or whatever, it'll not only float on top of the water, but you won't get any water inside here. It's got very few moving parts other than really the switch and the magnet inside of it, so there's no real chance of it breaking. Now, they make several different models on the website. You can actually buy a sport model that's kind of yellow, but I don't really particularly like that one because it's not clear. One of the great things about this one is that the light shines out very focused at the top, but it also comes out around the edges here, and that helps illuminate the room. Also, they have a little micro versions that you can carry. They're little small ones that attach to your keychains and so forth. So far, I think it's about one of the most handy things I've ever gotten geek-wise. I'm going to keep this thing in my car, and in the event of roadside difficulty, I'll be able to pull this sucker out. It's called the Forever Flashlight. Check it out at ThinkGeek.com.
A little earlier in the show, we took a look at the teaser trailer for Spider-Man 2, and now we've got another special treat. It's Sky Captain and the World of Tomorrow.
This is a pretty interesting looking movie. Apparently the whole thing was shot against blue screen, so it gives it this very cool sort of 50s retro sci-fi look to it. It's got a lot of interesting people in it. I'm looking forward to it. So here you go. Here's the trailer for Sky Captain and the World of Tomorrow.
Captain. When the shadow of evil falls across mankind.
Come in, Sky Captain.
A bold flying ace.
This is Sky Captain. I'm on my way.
One intrepid reporter.
What's this all about?
He's coming for me.
Who's coming?
And a courageous naval officer.
What have you got me into this time, Joseph?
Nothing you can't handle, Frankie.
Are all that stand between the enemies of the future and the world of tomorrow.
Cap, this is Dex. Do you read me? Come in. Hang on, Dex. I'm a little busy.
Jude Law.
Hold on.
Gwyneth Paltrow.
Can't anything ever be simple with you?
And Angelina Jolie.
It's a pleasure to finally meet the competition.
No! I see it!
Sky Sky Captain and the world of tomorrow. Join the resistance at skycaptain.com.
Our next Actioncorp segment is going to focus on a friend of ours, Jason, who is a little shy to be on camera, but this is his cocktail Mame machine. This is something he has personally constructed out of a Celeron PC. His monitor is in here, his PC is down in here. He's built this case, he had this glass custom made, and he has built this from the ground up off of plans he found on the internet. One of the only pieces he couldn't make himself was this glass, the top of the cocktail machine. He actually had a local glass company cut it. It only cost him about $40. One of the more expensive items on this machine are these clips that are holding the glass on. Jason's been a big fan of Mame over the last few years and has collected almost 100 ROMs in here. Right now there are 97 games he can scroll through and kick up anything he wants, anytime he wants. Most of the games he's configured to set up vertically on the monitor, because right now the monitor is actually set horizontally, but the view for someone, either player 1 or player 2, is going to be a vertical view, and so he's had to go in and set up the game to work vertically. He has installed the joystick and 4 buttons. There's a 1-player and a 2-player. The inside is absolutely hilarious looking. It's incredible. It's the guts of a PC outside of the case, hard drives mounted on the side, the button switches are all mounted on. What makes all these buttons function correctly is a device known as the iPack. He's got every button, every joystick movement running into this device. What it does is it takes all those commands and maps them to the keyboard. Going through the PS2 port, there's a pass-through device that basically makes each one of these things a keyboard function. So moving up, moving down, moving left, fire, jump, everything like that. It's a keyboard button. It's very cool. Jason got all of these individual buttons from this website right here. Each one of these, this wasn't a set, he bought a stick, he bought a red button, a green button, a blue button. The joysticks ran him about $12 each, and each button cost about $1.50, so it's not a bad deal. This whole system is cooled by 2 computer fans that he set, one sucking in, one blowing out on either side just to keep a good airflow. Nothing special about them, just a standard computer fan from a local hardware store. The sound coming out of this machine has been produced by some heavily modified PC speakers. He's gutted them and routed the sound all over the place. I love the inside of this thing. It just makes me happy. Jason happened to have an extra Celeron around the house, so this system only cost him around, he said he put about $400 into it, including the computer he already had. He said otherwise it'd probably run you about $600 for everything. This is his main PC now. When we came to the house to shoot the segment, his keyboard, his mouse, his drink were all right here. He was just rolling through the internet, looking at web pages. It was really kind of cool. When I saw it, I got fired up. I'd heard about it, and I was like, this is cool, but now seeing it, if I had the space, if I had the skill, or the attention span, I would love to make one of these things. It was only $600. He's got every arcade game he wants in his living room. So for $600, you too can have this Mame cocktail machine in your home. That's it for Actioncorp episode 20. We'd love to hear from you. Please visit the forums at actioncorp.net and tell us what you'd like to see on future episodes. Until then, we'll see you next time.
We took a little Okay, so set that thing down and don't make a sound, and we'll record.
Yeah, shut up! Dude, cat. We almost got a cat in the shot.
Gonna be covered with photos.
Oh my God! Shut up. $600 cocktail Mame machine that you can do at home. That you can do.
Damn, there, killed them both. Are we recording?
Yeah.